Today's video, I'm going to discuss my PCOS and endometriosis symptoms. Now, we probably all know everyone with endometriosis, PCOS and endometriosis, all of our symptoms are very different. There are some commonalities in all of these, but I'm going to share with you some of the things that I have to go through. And I'm hoping with me changing my lifestyle, my diet, my exercise, reducing my stress, that hopefully some of these symptoms will dissipate or lessen. So I have my notes in front of me and let's get started. The first one I want to talk about is my fatigue. Yes, I'm always tired. And right now, baby girl that I do have, she's almost 9 months. So obviously some of my fatigue is just being a new mom, and her sleep patterns being off and me not getting enough sleep. But prior to having her, when I was dating my husband 10 years ago, I remember going over his house just to nap. And even fast forward to before me conceiving, I was always fatigued, even getting over 8 hours of sleep, at work being tired. So yes, being fatigued is one of the symptoms I do have, and it's not fun. The second thing that's probably common with some of us is having irregular to no periods. So I remember some years of me having this diagnosis. I would go months, sometimes a year-ish, more or less, of not having menstrual cycles, me not releasing my lining, and thus me not ovulating. Which would go into the third symptom that I do have, but I will not speak that into existence, but that I did have, I'll say that, right? Infertility. So it took me and my husband like 2 years to conceive our baby girl Raven, and it's because of me just not ovulating. So yes, one of the symptoms I do have, unfortunately, and in this channel I will talk about how I was able to overcome infertility with infertility medication, and my goal to conceive second baby without using infertility, and hopefully using a more natural method. My next symptom is having weight in my midsection. So it looks like I have that beer belly that those good old guys have, and with me not having the pleasure of drinking beer, which I don't like beer anyway, but having a lot of weight in my midsection, not a pretty thing. And speaking of that, kind of goes into my next symptom of gaining weight easily and having such a challenge in losing that weight. My last video, I mentioned that my first year of marriage, I gained 40 pounds. Oh, like so crazy. How did that happen? But PCOS, a lot of women with PCOS, I should say, have insulin resistance, and it sounds like that goes hand in hand, and why losing weight and losing weight so hard and gaining weight so easy. My next symptom is having oily skin, and I did not know this was a PCOS symptom until recent. I did a Google search and I was saying, I know I have oily skin. I wonder, is that caused by genetics or is that part of my PCOS? And if you Google symptoms of PCOS, oily skin will appear. So my glow that I have sometimes may not be because of my makeup products, it's because of my oily skin. Thank you, PCOS. My next one is something called Kertosis. Hope I said that right. But it's when you get like small bumps on your skin, and specifically I have mine on the back of my arm. It's more of a recent symptom. I definitely had it before conceiving, but probably within the last 2-3 years. This is more of a newer symptom that I have. The next one that I have is something called Hirsitism, excessive hair growth, but more specifically when women have male pattern type of hair growth, which is not pretty, which is not girly, which is not feminine. So for me, unfortunately, I have chin hair growth and hair on the belly. I don't know what else you want to hear about it, so if you have any tips for me, please let me know. But that's one of the symptoms that I do have because of the PCOS. The next two I'm going to talk about I'm thinking it's because of PCOS and the hormonal imbalances, but don't know for sure, and I guess the research is still out, or I have to do more digging in the research. But the next one is dandruff. I'm thinking probably because of my hormonal imbalances. My body is trying to, I don't know, figure out what to do, or because I have toxins inside of me. That's one of the symptoms that I have. It's just having a dry scalp, having big flakes, not just like let me brush that off your shoulder. No, like, oh, okay, let me pick that out of your hair dandruff. So pretty bad dandruff. And the last one is not a pretty one, but my poop situation is not the prettiest. So, sometimes we gotta go. Sometimes for me, when I gotta go, like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta stop what I'm doing, I gotta go. So, not pretty. And I know there's research out about how your PCOS, hormonal imbalances, endometriosis, how that affects your gut health and how it affects your digestion. So that's one of the non-cool symptoms that I do have. And a bonus symptom I'm going to talk about that I just thought about, just remember, I have a hormonal imbalance postpartum symptom, and that is stinky underarms. That's not the medical terminology for it, but that's one thing that I realized after giving birth, being at home with baby girl, with my husband, I would just smell some body odor, and I'm just like, well, it's probably because I haven't showered. I have a newborn. I just haven't been taking care of myself. But then, literally after I take a shower, my underarms would still stink. And I'm just like, what's the deal? Maybe I didn't scrub hard enough. No worries. Next time, I'm going to dig in. And so next time I dug in and I leave the shower and I'm like, dude, I stink. And then I was not thinking about it too much. I'm just like, well, it is what it is. Then I actually was like, let me Google this. And lo and behold, I Googled it, and I did say commonly women with hormonal imbalances such as PCOS, one of the postpartum symptoms that we may have is having body odor. And that's what I have. So I'm pretty lucky that we're in quarantine here and I'm not leaving my house as much. So the world do not have to face that, do not have to encounter that, do not have to smell me. But that is one of the symptoms that I do have. Ew. But I would love to hear some of the symptoms that you have. Please share that with me. Comment below. Let me know. Even if you do not have PCOS or endometriosis, just tell me some of the symptoms that you may have. One thing I did not mention is painful periods, having that cramping. And that is a symptom that I do have. But since I have irregular periods or no periods at all, it's rare for me to actually experience that. So if you have endometriosis, or not even endometriosis, if you're just a woman with painful periods, let me know. Let me know if you think that is a byproduct of having a hormonal balance. Let me know if you have hirsitism, how you're coping and dealing with that. Not everyone with PCOS have hirsitism. You may have male pattern baldness or hair loss. Let me know how you're facing that, or any other comment, or any other symptom that you do have that I didn't talk about today. Like, just comment below, let me know what you're facing, and I would love to discuss it. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.